Factor-Inwentash, Faculty of Social Work, University of Toronto. Master of Social Work, Indigenous Trauma and Resiliency, ITR. Statement of Acknowledgement of Traditional Land. I wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. This statement was developed at the University of Toronto in consultation with First Nations House and its Elders Circle, some scholars in the field, and senior university officials. About the partners. ITR was launched in 2016 in partnership among the Ontario Federation of Indigenous Friendship Centres, OFIFC, the Middleton Mawes Institute, and the Factor-Inwentash Faculty of Social Work, University of Toronto. The following is a quote from Jane Middleton Mawes, Executive Director of Middleton Mawes Institute and Assistant Professor at FIFSW. Bridging the River. The ITR represents what a Native American elder taught me was bridging the river. On one side is science, everything we're learning about attachment, trauma, and resilience, and the latest neuroscience research. On the other, the healing traditions of Indigenous people, Native American, First Nations, Tibetan, African, and Celtic, among others that have worked for hundreds of years. We are bridging the river between cultures, between youth and adults, and between communities. When you bridge the river, you have a powerful dynamic to create real change. What is the Indigenous Trauma and Resiliency ITR program? The MSW ITR field of study is founded on values of respect, honesty, kindness, humility, cooperation, and belonging held by the Indigenous people of Turtle Island. The curriculum invites learners of all Indigenous origins to identify and explore their ancestry, learning how to build on inherent knowledge and wisdom to inform their social work practice. Each learner will bring their gifts of knowledge of trauma and resiliency and social work practice and ethics to contribute to a collective understanding of how to serve individuals, families, and communities in the global context. Through internships with elders, respected cultural mentors, and skilled professionals, and credible organizations, students will be able to experience hands-on learning in one or more specific areas of trauma intervention and treatment, program development, individual, couples, and family counseling, traditional teachings and ceremony, trauma-informed schools, political advocacy, and/or community intervention. The MSW ITR program is an Indigenous-centered program. The program is beneficial for Indigenous and non-Indigenous students who will be working with Indigenous populations. It focuses on theoretical knowledge, personal development and skill building, online distance learning, and mentoring. The following is a quote from a graduate of the MSW ITR program. The MSW ITR is a holistic, strength-based program that blends Western and Indigenous knowledge. It is a way for Indigenous and non-Indigenous students to reflect on their place in society and gain understanding of Indigenous experience and values. We are learning to foster our own wellness so that we can effectively engage with and support others. Graduates will be equipped to work respectfully with Indigenous communities globally and advocate for policy change on a large scale. This program honors where I come from, my perspective, and my worldview. Julie Blair, MSW ITR student, class of 2019. What are the admission requirements? An appropriate bachelor's degree from a recognized university with a mid-B standing in their final year of study or equivalent in senior level courses. At least 3 full courses or their equivalent in the social sciences to include a half-credit course in research methods. At least 3 years of work experience in the social service or Indigenous services sector. Participate in an in-person or virtual interview. Evidence of facility in the English language, if applicable. What does the program look like? 6 terms on a full-time basis, fall, winter, and summer sessions, and consists of 3 components: in-person intensive courses held in Toronto, online courses taken from the student's home community, and practicum courses in various settings. What do the in-person courses look like? There are a total of 5 6-day intensive face-to-face courses held in Toronto, 3 in the first year and 2 in the second year. Each 6-day intensive course includes academic learning, experiential learning, and wellness evaluation and activities. Course assessments include self-evaluations and independent study assignments applying course content in the home community context. In-person attendance at the intensive courses is mandatory. If you miss an intensive course, you cannot take the next one in sequence and will need to wait until it is offered the following year. Students are responsible for travel and accommodation costs during the intensive course weeks. Light breakfast and lunch is provided for students. Year 1 intensive courses include Understanding Historical and Multi-Generational Trauma, offered in the fall, Indigenous Perspectives of Grief, Loss, and Unattended Sorrow, offered in the winter, and Sexual Abuse, Sexual Assault, and the Family, offered in the summer. Year 2 intensive courses include Facilitating Training in Indigenous Communities, offered in the fall, and Trauma-Informed Organizational and Community Intervention, offered in the winter. Where do I stay when attending the intensive courses? Temporary short-term housing options affiliated with the University of Toronto are available on and nearby campus. You may also choose to look into Airbnb or hotel options. You may also want to stay with some family and friends. Visit the housing website at studentlife.utoronto.ca/hs. Online courses. All courses, excluding the intensive in-person courses, will be completed online. How many practicum hours are required? Students entering without a BSW will complete 2 practica. In year 1, it will be 450 hours. In year 2, 410 hours supervised in community and 40 hours community intervention. Students entering with a BSW will complete 1 practicum, 410 hours in a supervised practice setting in their own community. Students will also complete a community intervention with a supervisor, for which they will receive 40 hours credit upon submission of a successful evaluation. Please visit socialwork.utoronto.ca/practicum/indigenous-trauma-and-resiliency for detailed practicum information. 40-hour community intervention. The 40-hour intervention is an opportunity for MSW ITR students to gain additional experience in trauma-informed approaches with the guidance of a supervisor. This can occur through information and skills training, supporting a healing process, conducting community-based research, or contributing to policy enhancement and/or development. Community intervention focuses on people's behaviors and how changes in the environment can support those behaviors from a model of trauma-informed practice. Examples include working with an agency towards a change in policy, working with a trauma-informed school environment or a treatment center, supporting the facilitation of trauma-informed organizational training or creation of a trauma-informed resource, or an intervention that helps the community to start a healing process in breaking the silence around sexual violence and/or creating a safety network for victims and their families. For more information, please visit socialwork.utoronto.ca/practicum/indigenous-trauma-and-resiliency/40-hour community intervention. What are the tuition costs? Tuition is presently $11,424 for domestic students and $43,770 for international students per year. More information about tuition fees can be found in our tuition fees video. Please note, tuition fees are subject to change. Indigenous Tuition Initiative. The University of Toronto has created a new Indigenous Tuition Initiative to foster and strengthen relationships between U of T and Indigenous communities in Ontario, across Canada, and in the United States. This initiative includes 3 programs. The U of T Indigenous Tuition Grant covers the cost of tuition in eligible undergraduate and graduate programs for students from the 9 identified First Nations communities. Indigenous students from the rest of Canada may be eligible for domestic Ontario tuition fee. Native American and Alaska Native students from the continental USA may be eligible for domestic Ontario tuition fee. Please see our site to determine your eligibility. Visit registrar.utoronto.ca/finances and funding/Indigenous tuition initiatives/9 First Nations. How do I finance my studies? Please look at some of the following ways to finance your studies: FIFSW internal award opportunities, Inspire, funding opportunities through the School of Graduate Studies, SGS, OSAP, Indigenous Student Bursary, Ontario Graduate Scholarship, OGS, Social Science and Humanities Research Council, SSHRC, and City of Toronto scholarships for Indigenous students studying in health professions. To learn more about financing opportunities, please visit socialwork.utoronto.ca/admissions/MSWITR/MSWITR financial assistance. The following is a quote from a graduate of the MSW-ITR program. The MSW-ITR is not only an academic journey to support Indigenous people and their communities in addressing trauma and building resiliency to engage them on a healing path. It is also a healing journey for myself and the students taking this program. We are supported and given the tools to address our own trauma and to build resiliency for ourselves. Addressing our own trauma will help us better support individuals, families, and communities, and be intentional about our own self-care when we get triggered working with Indigenous people and communities. Daisy Giroux, MSW ITR student, class of 2018. Do you need more information? Please visit socialwork.utoronto.ca/admissions/MSWITR. You can also visit our MSW ITR application process video to learn about the application requirements.